My name is John. I earn over $100,000 every single month as the #1 freelancer on Upwork.com. I've been doing outbound sales for 8 years. I broke the world record for fastest to ever earn $1 million on the #1 platform. Pretty much just doing cold email as a service. You can do a quick Google search of me and you'll be able to verify my claims. The reason I'm making this video is because I get hundreds of people every single month asking me for help, and I just don't have the bandwidth to work with everybody. I can't help everybody. And so I hope this video can serve to get you started, to grow your business till one day it makes sense to hire my team to manage your cold email for you and 10x it. In other videos, we talk about email deliverability, list building, Google Maps scraping, and things like this. But today I want to focus on cold email copywriting. Before I get into talking about tools and how to use AI and all these other things, I want to talk about the base principles that you need to keep in mind to make sure that your cold email is going to do well and that your copy is going to convert. A lot of these things are going to have nothing to do with your copy, but they are going to amplify the effects that the changes in your copy that we're going to discuss later are going to make on your overall cold email campaigns. The first thing that we have to talk about is AI. There's so many tools out there that are popping up to use AI, whether it's to write your emails for you, whether it's just talking to ChatGPT, or whether it's using APIs to do more complex things. AI cannot do your job for you. AI cannot write your cold emails for you. This is something that I learned very early on when I started my agency. We used to ask clients, you know your product, you know your offer better than anybody else. Why don't you write the first draft of the email, send it to us, and then what we'll do is we'll optimize that for conversion. We'll add AI personalization. We'll do all these things that are going to help with deliverability and personalization and things like this. But we need to really get from you in your voice. What is it that you do? What is it that you provide? What is the value that you give to your clients? And every single time, without fail, I was reading the same email with different details. After reading 2 or 3, I realized every single person, when I told them to do that, they went to ChatGPT, they put a couple sentences about their business, and they said, write me a cold email. They copied that and they sent that to me. That's what most people who are doing cold email are doing. And let's think about ChatGPT for a second. Everybody in the world pretty much is using ChatGPT on a daily basis. Anybody who's not living under a rock, and they know what ChatGPT's writing style looks like. And so if you send an email that you wrote with AI entirely to anybody over cold email, they are going to instantly know and identify that you put zero effort into this and that an AI wrote this. Above and beyond that, ChatGPT is not going to understand your business, your market, your offer, the value that you provide to your clients as well as you do. And so coupled with those things, you always want to avoid using ChatGPT in this manner to write your emails for you. The reason why ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, DeepSeek, whatever model you want to call it, the reason that these don't work for this, despite how much knowledge, training, and intelligence they may seem to have, is the way that they're trained. ChatGPT, Grok, all these models are trained on internet data. And so what they do is they scrape as much data off they can as the internet, and they train the model to basically regurgitate that information. But one thing you have to consider with that is, how do they get the data? Well, they scrape Google, and Google will only return a few hundred pages for any type of topic, whether it's cold email copywriting or something else. And so when they're training the model, they can only train it on the highest ranking pages. And the highest ranking pages that talk about cold email copywriting are not written by cold email copywriters. They're not written by people who know how to convert people over cold email. They are written by SEO copywriters, people who know how to rank on Google. And if somebody who's a really good copywriter puts out a blog and it's not on Google because it's not in the top 100 results, then ChatGPT never sees that data. And so what happens is that you are actually asking a model which is trained on really bad data by people who don't know how to write copy to write your copy for you. And so that's why you want to avoid using models like ChatGPT to do this for you. The second thing that we need to talk about as far as core principles is your offer. When people read your emails, they really only think about 3 things. The #1 thing that people want to know is this person going to fuck me? Are they going to screw me over? And how do you make sure that people don't think you're going to screw them over? The first thing is these are things outside of cold email. Do you look legitimate? Are you sending them an email from a Gmail account? Why should they trust you, right? I'm talking about john@gmail.com, john@yahoo.com. That doesn't exude confidence in your reader. The second thing is, do you have a website that actually looks like it's from 2000 post era, not like it was made in 1970? Does that exude exude professionalism and build trust? Do you have a personal brand outside of your cold email, right? People are going to look you up before they decide whether to respond. They're going to look up your website. They're going to look up your name. They're going to Google you. And if they don't do it right before responding, they're going to do it deeper down the sales cycle. And so it's important that you have these things in place, because these things are going to amplify your cold email. Writing cold emails well will help you convert a response, but it just gets your foot in the door for them to do a little bit further research about you. The second thing, is this offer for me or is it for everyone? Let's think about two people. Let's imagine someone sells everything to everyone. They offer every service in the world. Let's take a marketing agency, for example. They offer Google ads, Meta ads, TikTok shop, SEO, cold email, ranking in SEO for AI, Reddit marketing. They offer Klaviyo marketing. They offer all these different marketing services. And then you have another person who only offers local service ads for Google businesses in the plumber's niche. Who's going to have a higher conversion? The person who's selling everything to everyone, or the person who's selling something specific to a specific person? Well, obviously the second person. And this is where list segmentation comes into. So it's not just about how do you write your copy, but how do you segment your leads into different lists with different copy that's going to be more relevant to them. If you offer multiple services, that's okay, but you want to make sure that your copy is written in different segments, right? You put your local service ads for plumbers in one campaign that's about that. And then your other one, which is cold email for SaaS companies, in a different campaign that's about that. People want to know, is this person someone who can actually help, or is this somebody who's just trying to make money? And that comes to the last question, right? Do I believe that this can help me make money? And so when you're looking at your offer, some people, when it comes to cold email copywriting, there's no cold email copywriting that can get them to get higher conversions because their offer sucks. Let's imagine somebody is selling Google ads and somebody else is selling Google ads, but the way that they offer and the way that they pitch their service is totally different. There's one person who says, hey, I offer this complete lead engine, and they've got this trademark name or system that they call it, and here's how it works. You pay me $10,000 up front and then $8 a month for the next 3 months. And by the end of the 3 months, we'll have built you a website, got ads running, we're running cold email. And by the end of that 3 months, you'll be booking a lot of meetings. Then let's take a look at offer two. There's somebody who says, I run local service ads. There are a specific type of Google ads where Google only bills you when your phone rings. And I'm so good at running Google local service ads because it's all I do, that I do it on a performance basis for my clients. And so what that means is if you decide to work with me, you don't have to pay any setup fee. You don't have to buy any software. All you have to do is pay for the local service ad costs when your phone rings that Google bills you. And at the end of the month, whatever money you spend with Google, whatever your ad spend is, I'll charge you a percentage of that. 15%, 20%. It's no risk to you. You're only going to pay if it works. Who's going to do better? Let's just take all the copy out of the equation for a second. Who's going to do better? It's the second person. And the first person, no matter how perfectly you write their copy, no matter how much you use tools like Clay or Twain or OpenAI to write the most personalized email. Oh, I saw you posted this job and then this happened. And then I saw you were engaging with this post and insert buying signal here. All that they're going to think is this is a huge risk. I have to pay $10,000 up front and then I have to pay all this money every month before I even get any results. And so the copywriting, there's not much it can do to save you. So you want to make sure that one, you're not just using lazy, like let me ask ChatGPT to write my email. Number two, you've actually positioned your offer to be something that can be well converting over a cold email, right? Cold email is one of those channels where trust is at an all-time low. There's hundreds of people who took a course from Iman Gadzhi, who took a school community, how to make $10,000 a month, that have no idea what they're doing. And for most things that people are selling over cold email, you are not the first person to sell them this. Whether you're selling them manufacturing services, fulfillment services, 3PLs, marketing services, whatever it is, if it's something that's need to have for their business, they either have an existing provider or have worked with another provider in the past and been burned 99 times out of 100. And so now you need to figure out how can you position your offer to be different. And that's where it comes into psychology. Now, psychology is going to be one of the most important things to consider when you're writing your cold email. And we've talked about that a lot already. You want to make sure that when you're writing your email, you're taking into account what is going to go through their mind when they read my email. How are they going to feel, right? Are they going to feel like I'm talking to them like they're stupid? Are they going to feel like, oh, I've heard this pitch a million times before? And if they are going to think that, how are you going to position your copy to counteract those negative thoughts, to elicit those good thoughts, to make them have a light bulb moment where they go, hey, I want to talk to this guy. And the next thing that we have to talk about when it comes to psychology, right, is what is the most likely thing that they're going to respond to your email? And one thing I see a lot, and we'll take marketing companies, for example, because we work with a lot of marketing agencies, is that the first thing that people usually ask is, how much is it going to cost? Do you offer a guarantee? What is the risk? Can you send me pricing? Can you send me more information? Do you work in this area? Have you worked with this type of person before? Oh, I don't understand this. Can you clarify that? And you want to make sure that when you write your copy, that you are answering every single one of those questions, so that the only logical next question that they would have is, how do I get started? Do I get on a call? Can you give me a call? Here's my phone number. Can I go ahead and book a meeting? And so now that we have all those baseline principles out of the way, now we can talk about, how do you actually use tools like Clay? How do you use tools like OpenAI? And so now I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to go ahead and dive into that now. Let's go ahead and dive into our first example of copy. This specific client did 179 positive interested responses in the last 7 days off of only 15,000 emails. And it all comes down to, like we said before, not just the copy, but the offer, the positioning, and the psychology that we take into account when we actually write the email. So let's go ahead and pull up the copy here, and we can dive right in. So let's read through the copy together once. Walter, I see you're helping people wanting body enhancements with aesthetic transformations at Authentics. Since getting the look they want is a long-term thing, are you able to make this entire process really easy for your clients, as well as grow your practice? We're already working with many aesthetic clinics to provide their clients with personalized supplements, each package with your patient's first name on it and in your branding. We'll customize the packets to every single patient. It's easily done with our white label app, which plugs directly into our fulfillment and ships directly to their house. You'll get about 50% of the revenue on each packet. We're FDA registered and GMP certified, and already helping aesthetic clinics just like yours add over $100,000 a month in additional revenue. No side effects, no more recommending your clients shop at the local GNC. This makes their life easy, and they're happy to depend on you throughout their journey. But rather than just pitching you, I'd like to send you a custom sample so you can understand the user experience firsthand. You can choose any supplements you'd like, and I'll go ahead and send them over. We want to make sure this is something you believe in yourself. Can I go ahead and send you? It's on me. And then we have the client's signature. So the first thing that you'll probably see when you look at this email is that it's very long. And contrary to what you might read online about everyone saying shorter emails perform better, that comes with a big caveat. Shorter emails get more responses, but they don't necessarily get the responses that you want. When you write a short email, there's typically not enough information to answer all of their objections. And so they usually have to respond and follow up with buying questions that are basically objections. What is your pricing? Do you serve this area? Have you worked with anybody in my niche? And while that will give you a higher response rate, it doesn't give you ultimately what you want, which is more closes. You want to have it that the next message that somebody sends you when they respond to your email is, how do I get on a call with you? How do I proceed further down the sales cycle? How do I get started? Because every single additional email that is after the first cold email and before them booking a call is higher likelihood that they are going to go cold. And so you want to minimize the amount of emails between here's the pitch and now they're on a call with you. And so the way that you do that is answer all their objections and give them all the information that they need to make an informed decision. Come back to our 3 principles. They want to know, is this guy going to fuck me? Is this offer for me, or is it for everyone? And do I believe that this can help me make money? So let's go ahead and dive through this email and go through these questions one by one. Is this person going to screw me? Is this a way that this is a scam, or it's going to be a waste of my time? Whatever it may be. Well, we can see right here that we're already helping other aesthetic clinics. And finally, as well, our ultimate pitch is to send them a free package, right? So we're going to take all the risks. We're going to show them the exact buying experience that their clients would go through if they were to actually work with us as a vendor. And so does it seem like this person is going to screw me with this offer? Probably not. So we have that check. The second one, is this offer for me? Is it for everyone? Well, we can see in here, we did some subtle AI personalizations that you may not have even picked up as being done by AI, but you can see here that we name drop not only their company in a normalized way where it looks natural, but we also name the specific type of practice they are, right? I see you're helping people wanting body enhancements with aesthetic transformations, right? Since getting the look they want is a long-term thing, that is an AI personalized sentences that has basically an AI agent viewed their website, understood what it is that they do, and wrote a sentence that contextualizes that pitch specifically around their offer. And then we already said again, we're already working with many aesthetic clinics to provide their clients with personalized supplements. So everywhere throughout this email, we're adding a lot of nuanced personalization to show that this is specifically for them. And then finally, do I believe this can help me make money? So we added in some social proof. Other clinics are already adding $100,000 a month in revenue. We're already mentioning that not only are we providing supplements, but we know the first thought, let's think about psychology. What's the first first thought that someone has when you pitch them supplements? I've heard this before. It's a super saturated market. Supplements is one of the most saturated markets in the entire world. You turn on YouTube, Joe Rogan, you're going to hear about Athletic Greens and everybody else's supplements in the entire world. How are ours different? Well, they're white labeled. So their walls are going to go up as soon as you say supplement. And when you read through it, you need to think about where are they going to put their walls up and how do I bring those walls back down? So we're going to say each is packaged with your patient's first name on it. We will customize the packets. We have a white label app. It plugs directly into our fulfillment, right? We handle the warehousing. We ship it directly to their house and you get 50% of the revenue. And so now they know, okay, great. This is different. It's personalized. I get to keep a large percentage of the money and I really don't have to do any of the work. It's all white labeled. So they know that they can make money. And we know that the majority of the responses historically that we've seen are people asking to either get started, get a supplement sample, or to get on a call because all their objections are already answered. We're FDA certified. We're GMP certified. We're already helping clinics. We already have a white label app. All these questions that they're going to have already been answered. And so that's the first example, right? And so let's go ahead and take a look at how we actually built these fields. And the tool that we're going to use for this is clay.com. Clay.com is, in my opinion, a super overhyped tool. 99% of the stuff in the tool we won't use, but it does have a really good AI agent for simplified AI copywriting. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. And so if we go ahead and open up our table here, and so here we've built out an AI agent, and this AI agent is helping us write our sentences. Remember what we said, ChatGPT is not a good writer, but it is a good researcher. It is a good contextualizer, right? It can handle the busy work for you. And so we give it a very tight scope on what we want it to write. We can tell the AI agent, hey, take a look at my prospect's domain, learn about what they do and who their ideal customers are, and then fill in the below snippets. Hey, I see you're helping insert their top ideal customers in 2 to 3 words with insert what they're helping those customers with in 2 to 3 words. So we're telling AI what we want it to fill in, and we're putting quotes around the sentence so it knows exactly what the sentence should look like, and it doesn't try to go too far off course. Then we have a second sentence. Hey, I'm asking because, insert what their ideal customers are struggling with is a long-term thing, right? And that comes back to our email here. Hey, since getting the look they want is a long-term thing, right? And we want to get them to start thinking about how this can be a long-term partnership, how they can start to make money in the long term off of clients or prospects or previous customers that they've had, which would otherwise be a one-time buyer. A body enhancement and aesthetic procedure is a one-time purchase. But if you can upsell them on supplements, that's monthly recurring revenue for your business that you otherwise wouldn't have, and will do all the work, right? So we want to make sure to segue and tie that in. Finally, sentence 3. You're one of the, insert the type of company they are in 1 to 3 words, only write the sentence and nothing else. We also give it an additional context. Keep it to 15 words or less. Keep it in US colloquial language. If we were reaching out in London or Canada, we might change that so it obviously looks more localized and makes sense for them, and it's not like we're just blasting the entire world. This will output our sentences as custom fields. Then when we upload our data directly into our sequencer, we can upload those fields as custom fields. So we'll see here sentence 1, sentence 2. So that way we can actually launch them when we go ahead and write our copy. So we can go ahead and insert our variables, right? Company name, type of business, LinkedIn profile, location, sentence 1, sentence 2, whatever it may be. And that way when we preview the email, this is what they will ultimately see. Let's go ahead and take a look at a second example. This is an SEO client, right? Talk about one of the most saturated and competitive niches. But despite that, over cold email, we're still seeing a 2.17% response rate, with a high percentage of those being actually positive interested leads. So off 30,000 emails, we generated 105 opportunities in just 7 days. So let's go ahead and take a look at the copy that's actually driving these results. Let's go ahead and read through it together, guys. It's always important to read through your emails as if you're the prospect. And so let's do this exercise together. Hey, Gary, I generally let my team handle these, but since you're the managing director, I figured you'd be the best person to share this with. I was looking at some of your competitors and I saw they're ranking for many of the same keywords as you do, but neither they nor you are showing up for around 90% of long tail keywords like specialist labor for training services and technical support for component supply. That could bring significant traffic from industrial clients to your site without spending a cent on ads. Our system helps you rank for thousands of terms like these by continuously optimizing your site for every possible long tail search on autopilot. We've already deployed this for Gordon Legal, Physio Inc., and Talent Formula, to name a few, and they're loving the results. Can I send you a quick video that shows shows you how it works. P.S. One of our clients in Queensland started pulling in an extra $1 million a month within 8 months of implementing this. I'm sure you'll be keen once you see it in action. And so let's take a look at this, right? Go back to the 3 core principles, right? So number 1, is this person going to screw me? Probably not. If you look up the founder of this email, you can see right away that they are one of the top SEO agencies in their space. That's something that you cannot control with copy, but it's something that works to our favor in this case. The second one, is this offer for me or is it for everyone? Well, in this case, we can see that we're naming super hyper specific keywords that would only be relevant for this person. So when they read it, it's going to look like this is for them and them alone. And do I believe that this can help me make money? Well, every business knows the power of SEO, and they know how much of a bitch it is to try to rank for long tail SEO keywords. And we're providing a solution that can help capture 90% of those. And people know AI is around the corner. These are things that are possible. And then finally, we add social proof at the end, also adding in the actual area where this prospect is located, Queensland, Australia, to further personalize this email for them and them alone. Now, we could go into Clay, but it's really going to be the same type of stuff, right? You look at the prompt from before, you ask it to write a few sentences for you, and at the end of the day, it's going to help personalize. You want to make sure that you talk more about following core principles, right? Making sure that you're answering the psychological requirements for them to respond rather than focusing on tools and gimmicks, because Clay is here. In a few years, Clay is probably going to be obsolete and there's going to be a new tool that's taking over. And so at the end of the day, it's important to understand the core principles and then understanding how you can utilize the tools to actually work in your favor. Let's go ahead and take a look at one more client who's offering manufacturing services. This can be something that can be very hard to personalize for because manufacturing services can take form in a lot of different use cases. But despite that, within just a 1 to 2 month period, we were able to generate 170 opportunities off only 4,000 prospects. So we're converting about 1 out of 25 prospects into an actual interested lead. And let's go ahead and take a look at the copy, and I think it's going to be obvious why this is the case. So this specific client focuses on selling cases, like think about Pelican cases, thermal injection molded cases, these type of cases that are used for specialty equipment. Our list is helping us a lot here, but when we take a look at the actual copy, this is really what's driving the conversions. Hey Tony, I was browsing through your website and I came across one of your products, the Virtua Simulator, model V300, V180, VST Pro. I noticed that that is a case with foam inserts. I then researched your company on LinkedIn and I came across your profile. We're an OEM making cases completely on brand for Virtua. If you're struggling with rising costs and tariffs, quality issues, production delays, or supplier responsiveness, we'd be happy to explore how we can help support you. I'd love to show what we can build for you. If you're interested, can we get on a call to discuss this? P.S. You'll be saving huge tariffs and time, but if you've already got someone you're completely happy with, just reply all set and I won't follow up. And so there's a couple new things here that we didn't see in the previous example. If you're not interested, just say all set and I won't follow up. And so within our sequencer instantly.ai, we can go ahead and add a keyword to add them to an unsubscribe list if they say something. Why this is super important to include in the copy is because it gives people a very clear way to opt out. And so now they have a choice. They can mark you as spam if they're not interested, or they can reply all set. By giving them this out, they're more likely to reply all set because that is just going to be simpler and easier than reporting you as spam. And so now what's going to happen is that they're going to unsubscribe and they're not going to burn your mailbox. They're not going to burn your domain, right? And we're using the copy to help facilitate keeping our deliverability high by giving people another option as opposed to marking us as spam. The second thing here is hyper personalization. We're naming the exact product that they have, the type of case that it is. The people that we're reaching out to, manufacturers, they're not going to think this is AI. They're going to think that we actually did this manually, that a sales rep wrote this email for them and them alone. Is the prospect thinking we're going to screw them? Probably not, because we've already done a lot of research into exactly what it is that they offer and how we can help. And then the third thing is, do I believe that this can help me make money? The cases for your products are something that the first thing that people see when they look at your product. So it's super important that the cases are high quality. And the fact that we're leading with personalization, we're coming in that we can make them locally and stateside, they're going to be higher quality. This is definitely something that can help them grow their brand. And so I want to go ahead and dive into the Clay table and how we did this so we can talk about how we're able to get this personalization, because this really does come down to the tools at the end of the day. We focus on principles, but this really does rely heavily on tools like Clay, AI APIs, and other things. So now we're in Clay and we're going to dive in how we actually built out the copy for this. So let's pretend you've already identified the companies that have cases. cases. Now we want to pull in that data. So what we do is we take the company name and we use a formula to create a new query. What this formula is going to do is it's going to create a query that we can use to search Google to find images of their products and their cases. And so we take the company website, rightwaymid.com case. Now we can post these queries directly to Google. We can pull up the images and we can find images of their case if they have one, right? And so that's one example. We'll go ahead and take a look at another one here. And here you can see, boom, we know exactly the type of cases that they sell. Now, how do we take that data and transfer it into a format where we can actually inject it into our emails at scale for personalization to get these crazy high response rates? What we need to do is we first need to grab the image and pull it into our clay table. So what we use for that is we use serper.dev. Serper.dev is an endpoint that allows you to grab Google data and inject it into wherever you want. So what this is going to do is it's going to pull in the image URL directly into our clay table. Once we have the image URLs on every single row in our table, then the next thing that we can do is we can build an AI agent to go through and analyze that image, right? And so the same thing, I'm going to create an analyze image enrichment directly in clay, and I'm going to give it a prompt. I'm going to say, hey, we're a custom case manufacturer. We need to analyze the following image. Does this image represent a case or item that falls within the following categories? Aluminum case, ATA case. If you do identify an item that fits in those categories, I'll put a sentence like this. Hey, that comes with X category, right? Please normalize the sentence. And then what we're able to do is we're able to get outputs like, hey, that comes with foam inserts in an EVA case, right? Hey, that comes with a plastic case, right? Hey, that comes with an aluminum case. Then the next thing that we want to do is grab the model number. And so we can go ahead and take a look at where we called the API to get the image URL. And it will also tell us the source of the image, which will basically be the product page. So now we can build out a second AI agent to go to the product page and see if we can grab like an item number, because this is going to be important when the reader, they're going, I don't know what case you're talking about. When you give them the item number, they go, oh, okay, let me look it up. Oh yeah, okay, I know what case he's talking about. That gives them context. And so we build out a second AI agent here. Go ahead and unhide this. And we tell it to, hey, please visit the product URL page where the image was found and identify the name of the product listed here. Return the name of the product in a clean manner, all lowercase and nothing else. So now we've been able to pull out the type of case that they have, the model number of that case, and now we're able to add additional personalization and put that all into one sentence. Hey, I was browsing through your website and I came across one of your products, 2,000 milliliter case, right? Or whatever it may be. And that will go ahead and generate our email. And that's how we're able to get really high response rates. So when it comes to doing cold email copywriting, in conclusion, you need to have a mix of, technical understanding. How do you pull in data points that are going to be relevant? How do you use AI in an effective way, right? Using the API to add context and normalization and nuance to your emails so they look personalized at scale without looking like they were written robotic. And then also, how do you tie all that together with psychology and your offer to make sure that people don't think this is a scam, this guy's illegitimate, this is just a generic email that he sent to everybody, I don't see how this can help me. And then finally, making sure that you're including enough information in your emails that the question that people have is not an objection, but rather it's, how do I get on a call with you? So if this was helpful for you guys, I really recommend join our school community. You can join at school.com/cold-email-community. It's a free community where we release information about the tools that we're using, the things that we're testing, as well as a place where you can message other agency owners and other people who are running cold email for their business, share problems and struggles and challenges that you're having so you can get help from other people who are doing really well in the cold email space. I hope this was helpful for you guys, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one.